I am $77,000 in debt at the age of 24, and it's just insane. If you don't know who I am, my name is Rashid Jackson. I run Rashid Talks Finance here on YouTube, and a lot of my previous content, I just gotta say, my information that I was giving y'all was wrong. And it really took me getting into this kind of debt to really understand it. And it is scary at times. It's probably one of the most vulnerable videos I'm gonna have on YouTube, because the thing is, a lot of people that are in this situation don't want to talk about it. Or a lot of people here live a facade life and try to show that they have it, but they really don't. And that's what a lot of these content creators do on here. But that's not me. I want to teach y'all from my mistakes, and y'all can learn from it. And of course, in the next videos, we're going to start talking about the right way to do personal finance. But let's just deep dive into how I accumulated $77,000 in debt by the age of 24. So it all started after high school, right? Here's the thing. A lot of parents do not teach you this stuff. Personal finance is not taught. And that's one big problem I have with society. Being a young kid, it's a lot of predatory lenders out there to get you. And that's one thing you have to watch out for. The first thing we need to discuss is credit cards. Credit card offers are gonna hit your mailbox as soon as you turn 18 and you graduate high school. They want you to sign up for these credit cards knowing that you're probably not gonna pay it back, because a small percentage of people actually use credit cards right. And I'm not against credit cards, because some people are, and you got your Ramses and those kind of guys that are really against credit card. I'm not, but that to be used the right way. I used it the wrong way a good bit, and that's how I got in this situation. So let's just start there. That's what I was saying. So take a 18, 19-year-old kid, you give him a credit card. He gets an unsecured credit card. So now it started off good. I remember these days pretty clearly. My first card was the Discover It student card. I was in college at the time, and we got to get into that too. But I was in college at the time, guys. Had $2,500 on a credit card. Wasn't making very much money, but I didn't spend a lot. I was always told, a couple people told me in that time, YouTubers and just reading a little bit, so just pay it off every month. That's fine. We can all agree and attest to that, right? But credit scores start getting involved, and people start learning about credit scores, and that was me. I learned higher credit score, you can borrow more money, right? And I'm an entrepreneurial guy, so you gotta think about this. Me being an entrepreneurial guy, getting credit cards, you gotta think where my mind went, right? So I ended up getting a lot of credit cards. I think one time I had 8 credit cards. One of my credit cards, for a fact, I knew had a $10,000 limit on there. You don't supposed to give no 19, 20-year-old kid a $10,000 credit card, because they're gonna do stupid stuff with it, right? So I've gotten all these credit cards, and remember what I said about me being an entrepreneur. I started businesses with my credit card. That was probably the most stupidest thing I could have done. I understand everybody's entrepreneurs and you got to get your feet wet. A lot of people are. And sometimes you don't have the cash flow to get it started. But here's my wholehearted recommendation. If you're trying to start a business, don't do it with credit card. Please just save up. It don't matter if it takes you 2 years. Maybe in that time you'll really research that business and know what you're doing when you get in. Yes, you're gonna make mistakes regardless, but you shouldn't make all these mistakes with other people's money, because it's not guaranteed that you can pay it back. So in the grand scheme of things, I didn't think me using credit cards for that was wrong, because at the time I was like, well, if I'm using it to try to make money, it's not bad. I made a lot of attempts to start businesses with credit cards, and I just gotta say, that's the worst thing you can do. I did these things, and then I was hoping in the next month or two that I was gonna make enough money to pay the credit card off. But in reality, once you really get into the grand scheme of things, you learn that most small businesses don't make money in their first year, right? So let's take that for what it is. So now you got somebody using credit cards that after a while it gets to the point where you can't pay it back. So now you're only making minimum payments. And that's another thing I want to discuss too. Some people are taught, and I was one of these people, as long as you make your minimum payments, you're fine. But if you look on any calculator for paying off credit card debt, look at how long it's going to take you to pay off that credit card. If you just pay the minimum payment, it's going to take you years, because the interest rates on credit cards are astronomical. We're talking about 25, 30%. It's crazy. Right? So that was one of the things I did. Another thing I did, vehicles are one of the most source of debt for a lot of people, because everybody wants to live this American dream. Everybody wants to have a nice car, nice house, all this stuff, but don't understand the math behind it. Cars are one of the worst investments. Cars go down in value, right? But me being an entrepreneur, guys, I had an entrepreneurial mindset. So you know what I did? Turo. Let's talk about Turo. And for my people out here that may indulge in Turo, it's not a bad thing. But if it was me starting all the way over again, I wouldn't have took out loans for cars to put them on Turo. I would have saved up 20 or 30 grand cash and bought me some cash cars. That way I know if I make money every month, I'm not tied to paying a loan, all this high insurance. I'm not tied to all that. But I didn't do that. I got loans. So first things first, I need a vehicle for myself. So you know what I got? A used Dodge Challenger. It wasn't a bad deal up front, but the longer I look at it, I'm upside down in that car 9 grand. And that's what I'm saying. Even car dealerships, they don't teach young kids this. You coming into a dealership, you're a first time buyer and you can buy, they're not going to tell you the ins and outs of what you're getting into. Yes, a car payment is simple interest. And that's the only thing that I can say that's going to save me with car payments is whatever term you sign up for, that's when you're going to be done with that loan. And most of the time, car loans are 5, 6, or 7 years, which is not, it's a long time, but at the same time, at least it's simple interest. It's not like credit card where it's going to take you 10, 15 years to pay it off. It's different. But I bought that one car, right? And we're not done yet because I had that because I needed me a vehicle. That's cool. You do need a source of transportation in society nowadays. But I bought a Fiat 500, which I'm 4 grand upside down on. And I bought a Tesla for Turo. So a big chunk of my debt came from auto loans because I was saying, well, let's get all these cars. Let's put them on Turo. They'll pay themselves off. Let me just go ahead and tell you, they have not paid themselves off yet. And I've been doing this for like 3 years. Hasn't happened. It's not that much cash flow in it. So technically you could say I'm using my vehicles for an investment, but at the same time, the more miles get put on them, the value decreases. So that was kind of stupid. And on top of that, did I mention to y'all that I went to college for a minute, right? And nobody told me at 17 or 18 about student loans. I didn't know what I was getting into. But when I got to college, some of us out here, we realized college ain't for us, and that's cool. But college costs money. And my parents really didn't have the money to put me through college. And since they didn't have the money to put me through college, who had to take out some student loans? This guy. I think I have $17,000 in student loans for 2 years of schooling and I didn't finish. That is insane. And I think about that every day. I'm really $17,000 in debt for something that I didn't even finish. I'm gonna have to pay it because even if you go bankrupt, and I'm not thinking about doing that, you're still gonna be messed up. You can't get out of student loans. So between these credit cards, the student loans, and these car payments, this has accumulated me $77,000 worth of debt. And I tell y'all that because y'all don't need to do this. Just stop listening to these YouTubers telling you you can leverage your credit, you can do this, you can do that. Yes, technically you can get ahead by leveraging your credit. I see people do it with houses all the time. People buy rental properties and stuff like that by taking out loans and stuff like that. And some people can actually make a lot of money doing that. But if you don't know what you're getting into, please do not take out loans for it. And a lot of people, they hear this stuff, and I'm just so mad that this misinformation is out here for everybody, and it's not good. And I don't like people getting misinformed, because I was misinformed. And me getting misinformed, I'm $77,000 in debt. But you gotta look at the bright side. It could be 100, it could be 200, but I'm almost to a lawyer level amount of debt, and I don't even have a degree to show for it or anything. Like, I'm making pretty good money now. I'm making probably about 100 grand a year. I don't care to say that. But in the grand scheme of things, look how much further ahead I would be if I was not in this situation. So to finish this all out, guys, please do not get in debt. You gotta be debt free. Being debt free is the only way to get ahead, because what did Dave Ramsey say? Your biggest wealth building tool is your income. And that's a fact. I will stand on that statement. It's a fact. Your biggest wealth building tool is your income. So don't do that. If you're a young kid watching this, don't get into debt. Please don't get into debt. Don't get a credit card. You better just save money. You can learn about putting in the S&P 500, putting in a CD, putting in a money market account. Do something like that with your money. And if you want to start businesses, that's cool. I'm an entrepreneur. I like starting businesses. But do not start a business with debt unless you know what you're doing and know what you're getting into. And you need to really look at these numbers, because you can end up in a situation like me. And I say this just to bring awareness to the situation, because a lot of people on YouTube will just make it look good. Oh, I make all this money. You can do the same thing. They're selling you a lie. And most of the people are selling you a course to get you messed up. And I'm not going to do that to y'all. I want to really teach this personal finance stuff to you coming from a place of experience, because I've been there and I know. So if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, because on these next videos I'm gonna do, I'm really gonna start breaking down how to budget, how to build wealth, how to do all this stuff the right way without debt being involved. Peace out.